question that was already asked, but do you think that the boundaries of Jared Moskowitz congressional district should change?
I'm not sure. I didn't draw the current map. I don't know whose district is whose. And quite frankly, even though I wasn't involved in drawing it, I said I was going to veto the one and that we had to do another. The guys that do draw the maps, they don't do it based on who the incumbent is. They basically do it based on, what makes sense in terms of geographic. So, we had some incumbents that were complaining last time, and they were like, oh, you're trying to go after this. No one was gone after. It had no impact on anything. Now, I will say, clearly, if the VRA is found to be, the application of the VRA is found to be unconstitutional of the race-based district, that district here will definitely change. So that we will be mandated to do it. And my sense is that would probably have spillover effects for a lot of places in southern Florida. I think if you look at the map now, probably north of I-4, I think is a pretty sound map. I don't think that there's really any basis. I think as you get into central, but particularly southeast Florida, there starts to become questions, voting VRA questions, but also some lingering questions from the first round of maps that the Florida Supreme Court has now been able to opine on that you could potentially look to see. And then I think if there are any changes made, one of the things that these guys are going to have to look at is, because you can draw a line in this part of the town or that part of, at some point you got to make decisions. And I think those decisions should be informed by the population changes and how all that's happened so that people get as fair and as equal of representation as possible. But if you have to change one, then, there's going to be a lot of other districts that could potentially be implicated. But I don't know if there's a constitutional defect with Moskowitz. I don't know there. I know we have, I think, 2 VRA districts. Is it 2, do you know, or is it just with the one? Okay, at least 2. I think one of them is pretty compact, so I don't know that that would necessarily be a problem per se, as long as there was a non-racial justification for it. I do think the one here in Palm Beach that has the arms that kind of go out and try to snag more voters that way, I think that's got some problems. And I think almost certainly if the VRA is interpreted to say that you can't use race that way, then that district will have to be redrawn 100%.